Welcome back to this 20th episode of Let's Play Storm of Zehir. We defeated the dragons, and since they are no longer holding up the force field that used to keep this area, we can now go loot the dragon's hoard, which, once again, looks like more money than it is. Well, I don't know, maybe that's 3,000 gold pieces. There's not that much of interest there. Most of it is just things to sell. So, back at trade headquarters, we pick up 2,000 trade bars worth of income, which is nice. We're going to use most of that to go pick up another trading outpost in Leylon, so I'm going to go do that. That's the town to the southeast we've been walking by a couple of times, and I'll just do that off screen. We established our trading post in Leylon, we come back, and, well, apparently Kelgar's gauntlets have been stolen, which isn't that important, but that's a later quest. And we get a couple more trade bars, not as many as I'd like, only about 700, but we'll get more later. We do have enough trade bars to go up to Neverwinter City, though, and from there we'll be able to set up a few more trading posts, but also progress with the main quest. The Sword Coast has a lot more areas than Samarok. I don't know why they bothered making it all about Zehir if we were just going to hang out on the Sword Coast all the time, but that's the way they set it up. Neverwinter City is here. There are a couple of towns yet to pick up as far as trading outposts, but I really don't have the money yet, so I'm going to have to go for the easy one. The trade routes you set up out of Neverwinter are fairly cheap. It costs you 200 gold to get into the city the first time because it's under martial law and they want a donation. In Neverwinter proper, there are four areas of interest. There's the Temple of Joaquin, the trading post, which we can't get into yet, the tavern, and a Than enclave, which is sort of strange considering the reputation the Wizards of Thay have as being, sort of evil. But we'll start with the Temple of Joaquin. First thing we're going to do here is talk to this Beloweth the Calm, who is a potential party member, and, it costs you 5,000 if you don't have any talk skills, or 2,000 less if you do. She's not that useful. I'm just picking her up to be complete. So I'm just going to take off anything she has that I can sell and then send her back to the keep. The big thing to do here is you get to choose a side among these trading organizations. The side you choose doesn't really make that big a difference to the game. There's the good guys, the neutral guys, and the evil guys. I'm going to join the neutral guys because it gives you a bonus to appraise skill instead of diplomacy or intimidate, which we've got well covered because we have our gunboat diplomat. You can also ask the guys here about being merchants for Volo's quest. So I'm going to do that. The good guy you can get just for free. The other two, you have to pay them to get the information. We're actually going to join the Forgotten Lords, which are the neutral version. They give appraise. You have to join if you want to proceed in the main quest, and you also have to join if you want to get the trading post here in town. So you just say you're interested in joining, you pay up, and they give you, more or less they say, once you join us, you can't join anybody else. They also give you a pass to the city, so you don't have to pay to get in and out, which, is not that important because it's not that expensive, but it's something. And there are 3 quests you can pick up here. The first one is just go investigate Port Last. The second one is set up a trading post. And the third is to find rare resources for this sensate who will show up outside. We're not going to mess with him yet. The only one I'm really interested in is setting up the trading post at this point. For the main quest, you have to ask about Ilfos and Kizu, and more or less whoever you join, they say go talk to Jordan Wright, who hangs out down here with the evil merchants. And he's remarkably unhelpful, and he just says, go away. So we'll have to talk to Sasani and get her sense on, well, what do we do next as far as that main quest goes. We can also try and get promoted within the Forgotten Lords organization, but you have to do the quests in order to get promoted. So first things first, let's set up our trading post here. Alright, to set it up, you need to talk to Sir Naval here, who you might remember from the first game, and you have to pay 800 trade bars, and that's it. And then you can go in there and set up the caravans. We can also talk to him about Finch, and he says you have to talk to this woman over here, who will tell you that her husband more or less set Finch up because he was jealous. And then you go back and talk to Naval again, and he says, okay, go talk to Finch again. So it's just a bunch of, FedEx. And Sir Naval wants you to find a place for an orphanage. Okay, we'll do that later. Here's our trading post, so I'm going to go in and set up the caravans, but I don't really have enough money. So let's see if we can find another merchant here in town. Inside the Wailing Wench Tavern, there are no merchants. There is, however, another party member who's a half-orc paladin. He actually has fairly good charisma for a half-orc. And I'm just going to take what he has and walk on because he doesn't have anything of use and I'm definitely not going to use him as a party member. He's basically just a bad fighter. So I'll take his stuff and dismiss him. Sir Naval is also sometimes in the tavern as opposed to outside, so if you don't see him outside, you just go in here. The last place to go in Neverwinter City is this Than Enclave. There are two things in here of interest. One is this Than guy in here who offers you a quest, and you can also ask him about being a merchant, though he's not really a merchant. The merchant is a gnoll, and he doesn't want to talk to you, so this guy speaks for him, I guess. And so you talk to him for a while and he'll give you a quest. He gives you an arcane attenuator, which you can use on when you find arcane nexi, and it will change into a charged attenuator. So once you do that, you bring it back here and he gives you a reward. In addition to a reward, you also get more inventory for this merchant here. He doesn't pay very good prices, but the important thing about the Than Gnoll here is that he has the highest cap of any merchant in the game. So if you're selling something like this gardener's spade, which is a pretty useless item that I got from the Good Wife's quest, he'll pay the full amount, as much as you're going to get for it. So even if he doesn't pay very good prices, you still can get lots of money from him just because he doesn't run into that cap issue. So I'm going to clean out my inventory and try and find some more money so I can set up more trade routes. The Gnoll also sells the various elemental resistance recipes. I'll want those eventually. So I'm going to go into this trading post and set up my caravans and then meet you back out on the map. So we're heading east from Neverwinter to try and find another place to set up another trading outpost. There are, let's see, 2 more cities. There's one around here, one up here, and then there's Port Last, as well as the place we're just about to go to, Thunder Tree. So it's not real obvious, but there's a ford in the river here where these rocks are. We're going to walk around there. There are a couple ways you can get to Thunder Tree, but it's one of the harder, well, not harder, just less convenient towns to get to. And for a trading post here, we'll require 100 trade bars and 5 units of ore, which we already had. And we'll build some caravans. And let's get the Neverwinter one up first. Then the Crossroad Keep one. And let's see what's in the common room of this tavern. There aren't any additional quests in Thunder Tree, but Finch is here, so we can recruit him for the party. You have to actually talk to him in Neverwinter, but you have to recruit him first. Leaving Thunder Tree, we're going to head back to Neverwinter, but not into town. We're going to try and find one of the arcane nexi that our friend, I don't know, the guy needs. There are 5 of them on the Sword Coast, and I think 3 in Samurok. So you really need all of the ones in the Sword Coast and the one in Samurok to complete the quest. You only need 6 to complete the quest. And the first one is just to the northwest of Neverwinter in a pirate cove. Where is the cove? Oh, look, we stole a necklace from a bird. Here it is. So, next time on Let's Play Storm of Zehir, we're going to go, deal with the pirates. There are no ninjas in the game, so we have to keep an equilibrium between ninjas and pirates.